Hi friends, welcome back. I'm hoping that today's card design will help you immensely in getting your own cards put together. Feel free to change up the elements that you stamp, the color of cardstock and ink that you use. This is just going to be a pure, simple card, no die cuts as I promised. And let's get into it. So you're going to need a card base. Mine is 4 1/4 by 11, scored at 5 1/2. Obviously, you can do the traditional 8 1/2 by 5 1/2, scored at 4 1/4, whatever you desire. I am going to use a piece of cardstock. My very top layer is going to measure 4 by 5 1/4, but my red layer underneath is going to measure 4 1/8 by 5 3/8, and that will be the front of my card. And then on the inside, I have a piece of red that is 4 by 5 1/4, and then my white cardstock is going to be 3 3/4 by 5. Let's jump right into it. This is a very simple design. It is not going to take us very long. I'm going to bring in my Misty, poor little well-used thing. And I'm going to slide my cardstock down in this corner. Let me shove this up a little bit. There. Now you can see a little bit better. I don't have any other brand of white pigment ink besides Hero Arts. Their unicorn white pigment ink. And that's actually what I prefer using. I've been very, very happy with it. Now, Gina K recently released a stamp set. It's called Winter Whimsy. There are no dies that go to it. You don't need them with this set. So I am going to pull out the trees. And we're going to get that centered and placed on the cardstock. Let me try to kind of do this away from your ears best I can. And I'm going to try to make sure it's even on the left and right hand side. Obviously, make sure it's going straight across. And I'm going to bring it up probably about 3/4 of an inch from the bottom. And I'm looking here. Now, I'm going to use my grid lines on my Misty door to make sure that this is indeed straight and it looks straight. I'm pretty good. It's not perfect. Let's try that again, though. Let's even that up even more. Okay, let me go back here. Oh, that is much better. Much better. And I've got that raised up. Looks straight. Let's see if it's straight. That looks pretty straight. And may have to do this 2 or 3 times in order to get the intensity of white that I want. So I'm just going to ink this up and stamp that down. Not all white pigment inks are created the same. So we're going to see how this goes. But I wanted something I could do that looked really festive without a lot of die cutting, too many layers, all that good stuff. I bet you do too, though. When it comes to making up a bunch of Christmas cards, we want the easy. And this is going to be the easy. All right, I'm going to concentrate there on the middle, where it seems like my ink coverage is the lightest. There we go. Oh, yeah, getting there. Let's do that one more time. And because it's a pigment ink, you do want to be careful that it dries really well before you go messing with it. But you could cut several panels, take whatever choice you want to stamp in your white pigment ink. Any tone of a beige, brown cardstock would be pretty. Okay. A bit more. It's getting there. All right, let me one more time, and then we're going to let it let it stand on its own. How is that? Let's see. Had to shut my door real quick, guys. Sorry about that. Did have to shut it real quick. And that's looking pretty good. So I'm going to peel this up. I'm going to lay it over here to the side. Let me get my little cleaning cloth here. Clean my stamp up. I hope everybody's been having a good week. I hope you've got your Thanksgiving plans made. A lot of you, I know, have to work on Thanksgiving, and my heart goes out to you. Especially our doctors, our nurses, our law enforcement, our firemen, all those. A lot of times they don't get to have a Thanksgiving with their family. And sometimes their own families may have to reschedule for whatever reason. So however you are going to spend yours, it's all good. I'm going to lay my stamp back in here. See if I can get that lined up. Kind of, sort of. There we go. Lay that to the side. And for the inside of my card, I've got this 3 3/4 by 5 white. And there is a verse I want to put on the inside. And I'm bringing in a different set that Gina K recently released. And it's called Christmas Begins with Christ. And I think I want this one. The true light, which gives light to everyone, was coming into the world. John 1:9. Get that on here. So I had a wonderful experience last Friday. As I was leaving the house to run an errand, I saw, up close now, a bald eagle. Oh my word, it was amazing. It was amazing and actually flew kind of parallel to the car. And I was the only one on the road at that time. So I was able to, and I'm looking, hold on, I'm looking here. Make sure I'm straight. I was able to slow down and pretty much stop and just watch this magnificent bald eagle up close. I've never been that close to one. May never be that close to one before. All right, I am bringing in for my red, I am using Distress Oxide Lumberjack Plaid. I'm just going to ink that stamp up. Oh, you know what? I've not used that stamp before. And I know I touched a little bit of ink to that. So let me clean that back off. I do want to show you something. So here's a brand new stamp, not used. It's real shiny. And so I'm just going to condition it with my fingers ever so quickly. And now let's do this again. Put this down. Hopefully I'll get it straight again like I did the first time. It's not quite centered very well. Whoops. Let me get... I need a pencil eraser, evidently. And I should have a pencil here. I do. Alright. This will help me in moving this. Am I about right on either side? It looks to be. Is it straight? Without getting my head in there, I'm thinking I'm going to edge that down ever so slightly. I don't know. Let me kind of tilt this. That looks pretty straight. So we're going to go for the gold. Now I can bring in my Lumberjack Plaid and get this stamped on the inside. Okay, am I doing pretty good there? Oh, isn't that pretty? It's so pretty. So pretty. Very fine, very delicate font. Okay. I need a little bit more, kind of right in the middle there. Don't want to get too much. Don't want to go from one extreme to the other. Okay, let me try this just very, very lightly. That's a beautiful, fine font. I love it. I have to press a little bit more right in there. See what we got. That looks pretty good. Let me pick this up and look at it. Yeah, that looks pretty good. I've got a few areas that are a little darker, but as this dries, it's going to scale back a little bit in color. And y'all let me know. I think I may have fixed the focus on my camera to where it was going in and out so bad. So hopefully I have indeed fixed it. Time will tell. I try to watch my videos back before they go public, but I don't always have time. And this week I'm not going to have time to do that. I'm truly not. All right, so I've got this. We're going to lay this back in here. Okay. There we go. Close enough, right? I'll lay that over to the side. And I'm going to go ahead, let me put the lid on my ink. I'm going to go ahead and glue this to the inside layer. Make sure what I'm doing here. This is my inside layer. Here we go. All right, let me get that glued in there. And we will see if the front is dry yet, because I do want to stamp a Merry Christmas just over those trees. I'll get this on here, hopefully straight and even and all that good stuff. Am I down about right? Hopefully. That looks pretty good. Alright, I will need my Misty, so I'm not going to go very far with it. And here is my card base. We're going to go ahead and get this put inside. And then we are almost done. Almost. Good, good. And for those of you who may be new here, I use Barely Art glue. It's my absolute favorite. Not to say that there aren't other really good glues out there, because there is. However, I don't feel a need to order a bunch of different brands. I'm happy with what I have. Just like with my Hero Arts Unicorn White Pigment ink, I'm happy with it. So, alright, now, let me look at this. It looks like it might still be just a tiny bit wet, and I am coming up with just little bits of that white. So let's ever so quickly just make sure that gets dry. I'm going to put it on low just so the sound isn't quite so high in your ear. Sorry about that. We're just going to give this a little bit over. Okay. But I think their white pigment ink shows up very nicely on these beige earth tone cardstocks. And that seems to be pretty good. Still going to have to be a little bit careful. Now I'm going to put it back in my Misty. And I'm going to get out my Merry Christmas. And again, it is coming from Christmas Begins with Christ. And it's this one right here. And it's just, in my opinion, the perfect size for this card. I'm going to make sure I've got it conditioned. And let's see, where do I want that? I think I want it maybe up a tiny bit. And is it straight? It kind of looks straight. Again, I'm looking at my lines. It's going through the middle of the S. And it's coming out not quite the middle of the M. Like maybe that needs to go down just a titch. Let me try that again. Is that better? I don't think so. I don't think that was better. Okay. So I really don't want to stamp it crooked, guys. That looks pretty good. Okay. Now let me go back to my lumberjack plaid, which was a really good match, by the way, to the red cardstock I'm using. If you're familiar with Stampin' Up, that's real red cardstock. I have so much cardstock, and I have to use it. This is actually Crumb Cake by Stampin' Up. Oh, isn't that pretty? I'm going to do it one more time. And then there's one more thing we want to do to this panel before we glue it down. But you can set up your stamps. Like I could have done both of these at one time. I really could have. And you could have your panels pre-cut and just start stamping. Lay them to the side, stamp another one. Oops. I love these little things from scrapbook.com. This one says, given enough stamps, I could rule the world. And I think as crafters, sometimes we do feel that way. All right, let me clean off my stamp. Try not to let that squeak in your ear. But oh my heavens, that bald eagle. I just can't quit talking about it or thinking about it. The long white tail feathers. Those pure white feathers on top of his head. It was gorgeous, guys. I've only ever seen them kind of at a distance. And while it's nice to enjoy them soaring high up above, there is nothing like seeing one up close and personal. All right, am I on there? I think I'm on. Well, that's not perfectly straight, is it? It's a little better. Nothing to write home about, but it'll work. Okay. Now, I am going to go ahead and glue down. And again, this is 4 1/8 by 5 3/8. And I'm just going to have that real skinny white border. You can adjust your sizes to what you prefer. You could go way smaller and have a really large white border. Just whatever you like. And let's see what we have here. Ooh, I think we're good, good, good. All right. Now, let me go ahead and cap my glue because there is one more thing that I want to bring in. It's not something I use very much, but I wanted to bring in this real pretty ribbon. I don't think it's sold anymore by Stampin' Up. In case you're curious, it was called Gold or Gold. Satin edged ribbon, 3/8 of an inch. I guess it's called Gold on Gold. I don't know. Let me get my ribbon cutting scissors out. Have them here. And we're just going to take some of this ribbon and we're going to do a faux bow. So I want enough to where I am not limited in tying my faux bow. Okay. I love this kind of ribbon because it's the same on both sides. So when you tie it, you don't have to worry about a wrong side showing. And I appreciate that easy button so much. Now, I can get this here. And let me bring in my reverse tweezers so I can kind of hold that a little bit while I'm tying this. I don't want it too tight. I don't want it to pull up the As a matter of fact, I'm going to pull it down over here just a bit. There we go. Now let me clamp onto it so that I can get the knot tied. And there we go. There we go. Awesome, awesome. And I'm going to move this up a little bit toward the base of the trees. I want it up just a little bit from the bottom. And, oh my goodness, I didn't tie it. I guess I didn't. Let's try it again, shall we? If at first you don't succeed. Now we're getting there. Now we're getting there. Alright, now I can take this and cut. Take this one and cut. But doesn't that little bit of ribbon, and you could use red ribbon, you could use silver ribbon. You don't have to use exactly what I have, and I think that one is just a bit long. So let's just nip a little bit off of there. There we go. That looks a little bit more symmetrical. Now we can get this glued on. And guess what, guys? We're done. We are absolutely done. I'm not going to put glue over the ribbon. Okay. Get this on here. So what do you guys think? Is this not a sweet, simple idea? Look in your stash. Find trees. Find anything you want to stamp in white. You get to put teal on here, green on here, whatever suited your fancy. But do you see how quick that came together? Isn't that awesome? Awesome. Pre-cut your pieces, pre-make your card bases, do a little stamping, boom, you're done. I don't know how to make a festive card come together any faster than with this. So I hope you guys enjoyed today's video. If you did, please give me a thumbs up. Subscribe if you feel like I can help you on your stamping journey. But either way, please know you are loved. May you be blessed. Do be safe. And God is good all the time. Bye.